tremendous evenings in Spencer House with you guys and many of your colleagues as well, and just making all those events so much fun. And obviously those breakfasts in New York as well, Yvonne, that you attend. So it's great to have you here. And so nice to be talking from Oxfordshire in England to the two of you on the West Coast in America, and just wondering how it all feels over there at the moment. So I'm going to hand over to you. The format, as everybody or most of you will know, is that Xandra and Yvonne will speak for 20 minutes. And we will then have the opportunity to put some questions in the chat bar or raise your hand, and I'll come to you at the 20-minute mark and we'll open up the discussion at that point. But Xandra, may I hand to you, please? And we look forward to hearing what you've both got to say. Hello.
Hello, and thank you, Simon, and hello, fellow Forum Club members and guests. Yvonne and I are excited to be here to speak to you a little bit about what's happening on the West Coast. And we're both in Southern California. Yvonne's in Laguna Beach, and I'm in Newport Beach. We're neighbors, we're friends. And, you know, it's a different world here versus where it is in London and all over the world. So we're very blessed. You know, we're coming out of COVID, things are opening up. Disneyland opened up here just to Californians this week, and everyone's just, hallelujah, it's so great. And I'm hoping that they keep it small, because I don't like those big crowds, but I don't think they will. So we're seeing some glimmers of hope. Vaccination rates are really up high here in California. And we have a really exciting thing going on. We have a governor recall that's going to go on our ballot in September, but we're not going to discuss politics today. What I wanted to do, we're going to talk about just a snapshot on innovation, startup innovation, and you know, funding for women and minority founded startups. That's a huge thing that's happening here in the US, and what we're investing in. But before I do that, I wanted to introduce myself again. I am founder and CEO of OSEA Angel Investors. It's a women angel investment group based here in Orange County. But since COVID, now we have members nationwide. And our goal is to connect, educate, and inspire women about angel investing. And I've been angel investing since 2013, and I have 36 companies in my current portfolio. They're all doing amazing things over many different sectors. And I want to segue into introducing you to Yvonne. She's a dear friend, a fellow OSEA Angel Investor. And Yvonne, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I am the creator and founder of Six Dragonflies Capital, which has funds to serve underrepresented entrepreneurs in their quest in the gap, or to bridge the gap between access to capital and talent. So I currently have 42 investments, both directly and through the 5 different angel groups that I belong to. I saw the need and had the desire to not just make a social impact, but also I see that these type of companies, as we know, women-founded companies, you know, as I think was said in the email invite that Simon said, they just have more return on investment, dollar for dollar, and as well as women and minority-led companies tend to be more successful when they launch and not go under. So things like that, it just made sense. It's a good return and you get to do social good.
And, you know, Yvonne is definitely a bright shining star here in Southern California. She is investing in female founded, amazing innovation. So I take my hat off to you. You are a rock star. We started our journeys very similar time at a similar time frame. We're both aligned with the different angel groups here in Southern California. So I'm so excited to see what she invests in. She's part of the OSEA ecosystem. So investing together as women and as a group, it just makes it much more powerful, investing in minorities and female founded companies. So I wanted to start out our chat with just giving some data points that came about earlier this year regarding angel investing and angel funding in the past year since in COVID. So this is a report. I'm just going to give you some highlights from the Angel Capital Association 2020 Funders Report. And this is really data from 2019. So I'm going to kind of put some more data in there from 2020. But just overall, angel groups invest about $2.5 million per year. That's an average per group that are part of the Angel Capital Association. And that's across multiple companies. Average valuation of a seed and Series A funding round is about $6 million. But in 2020, we definitely saw valuations go much higher than that. The average valuation, I would say, between $7 and $10 million. They really went up. And we'll kind of talk to that later in our discussion. Angel portfolio companies leveraged their angel investments to raise about $2 billion in total at a 7x multiple. 25% of portfolio companies' total funding, so that's the startup's total funding, come from angels, and that's a big chunk. And I like to see that because we have a lot of venture capital groups and venture capital funds that are now, traditionally they would look at Series A and rounds that are down, Series A, Series B, Series C funding, but a lot of them now have funds that are looking at the seed stage. They want to get involved earlier in the ecosystem, earlier in the journey, and help strategically support those seed stage companies in their portfolio. So that's been actually really good for us because we can co-invest with these VC funds. They're bringing in talent, they're bringing in support. So that's just a win-win for angels. And the top industries for angel investor groups were biotech, healthcare technology, e-commerce, green technology, and financial technology. So those are remaining the top sectors when we look at 2020 as well. But there's a new sector that's been added in there, which is social impact investing. And we're going to discuss that a little later. So that's kind of a gloss of what's happening here with angel investing in the US. But conversely, there's some new reports that came out for 2020. All Raise shows that women-founded startups took a major step backward in 2020. Even as our male peer counterparts raised more funding than ever, women-founded startups didn't do as well. They raised about $22 billion in 2020, which represented about 14.4% of the $156 billion total raised in 2020. And that's according to PitchBook. That's down from 16.9% of the $130 billion raised in 2019. So this is not a good trend, but we'll speak to some great things that are happening. But Yvonne, I would love you to weigh in on this.
Well, I think the point that I was gonna make is that we have seen the valuations go up a lot more, mostly because on the coast is where we have more technology, which tends to go for higher valuations, as well as there's just more money and in those concentrated areas. So that creates valuations, and as well as the opportunity for the technology companies that are there to be invested in. And let me see, what else we were talking about. Yes, the only way we're going to get to more equity funding is for women to be on both sides of the table, which is what we're trying to accomplish and see more of, because it has been shown that men like to invest with men that they can relate to. So therefore, it's going to have to be women as well, so that we can see the products that we want to see in the world, because men generally can't relate to the products women need as well as we could. And same thing with minority created products that maybe only minorities can see as being successful and created in the world. So yes, definitely heading in the right track.
Yes, we are. And I like that you touched upon that. We are seeing more women joining the angel investing ranks. It's not easy. In fact, this year we had 12 members join us that I have never met. Typically I meet them in person. I get to know them and their goals and explain to them what angel investing is. And then they get to come to a meeting. But now, they came to us through networks, to people we know, through members, and they love what we're doing. They understand our thesis and our methodology, and they're joining and they're writing checks. And that's really powerful, because our mission is to introduce angel investing to more women. They understand the process, because we want to understand, what are we getting into? How do we look at a deal? And we co-invest together and we invest with each other. There's power in numbers. And we'll touch to the ecosystem, how that is evolving. And that is my next point, is there is hope. There is hope. There is a growing ecosystem here in the US supporting women and minority founded startups. And they provide mentoring, they provide business development, and funding, really, for all of these different initiatives. Accelerators like Goldman Sachs Launch All Raise and Female Founders Alliance, grant programs such as I Fund Women, which is basically backed by a large corporations, Visa, American Express, Neutrogena, all have grant programs through I Fund Women. It's amazing. ASEAN and the Small Business Administration, when we had some of our relief programs coming through during COVID, our federal government earmarked funding for small business, women and minority-owned small businesses and startups. And that is coming through the Small Business Development Center, which offers free mentorship and grant programs up to $50,000, money that doesn't have to be paid back for small business and startups. That's huge. And they're actually making the process to access the capital a lot easier. I mean, yes, you still have to have tax returns and prove who you are, but they're just making it a lot easier to get the funding into the hands of these entrepreneurs. So that is very, very exciting. And then we have so many great venture capital funds coming out, and we're learning about them. I mean, Yvonne and I see it, many of them monthly. We see so many new funds sprouting up, which is fantastic. The W Fund run by Kate Broderick, Metrodora, which is run by Carolyn Cassie and Chelsea Clinton, Halogen Ventures, Jessie Draper. She's prolific with the types of investments she's making into women. And Yvonne, I know you are one of those women that has a fund and you are funding through funds. Talk to us a little bit about Portfolia.
Yes, so Portfolia is a company that was founded by Trish Costello, who, while working at the Kauffman Foundation and creating programs for venture capital partners, she saw that the VCs weren't investing in the type of founders and products and solutions that women wanted to see in the world. So she wanted to shift this, and she did it by introducing women to investing so that they can, be on both sides of the table and have some input as to the products that are being created. So not just educating them, but also showing them, not just educating them, but allowing them to be in funds. They currently have 10 funds. I'm invested in 3 of them. There's the Rising America Fund. And these funds, there's a Femtech Fund, Level Up Fund, and these funds are created, they don't only fund women, they also fund men, because the purpose is to just fund the most profitable companies to show women how to do that. And that's a really exciting vehicle for women to continue to, show up and invest. At the last Angel Conference, the Association, did we just say ACA?
ACA, yeah, the ACA.
Capital Association, when you say about there being more women, just in the last 5-7 years from when they hosted that event, it would be about 15% women, and now we were up to 25, so 1 in 4. So that's also changed in the right direction. I had a thought when you were speaking about what else has occurred as this last year has shined a light on the underfunding of women and people of color. Athletes and celebrities have started, leading the charge in helping that change and bridging that gap. 2 such examples that are women are Serena Williams. She started her own venture fund to help fund women, as well as the Bumble founder, Whitney Wolf.
Yes.
She started at Tinder, and when she's being harassed and saw a better way for Tinder to help or develop their application in I guess, online dating, she wasn't heard. So she decided to create her own, and she bettered the process, went public. And then when she did, and this is what I love about women helping other women, is that she created a fund called Beehive Fund that, again, is to empower more women. And that's what we find about the beauty of investing in women, is that when they reach a level of success, they always, help the next woman in line. And they also invest back into their communities, wherever they're funded, around the world. We see that those ecosystems flourish because they're more likely to give it back. So it's empowering and it's powerful. it's good change in every way.
It is. It's exciting to see that, because I think they did. I know when she went to go raise for Bumble, she came into the same issues that a lot of female startup founders had, was was willing to take a chance on her until she got into those right rooms. And that's a complaint we both hear a lot, Yvonne. I know we do. And so it's just wonderful to see these programs coming to light. Getting the word out there is another challenge, but we're working on that. Word of mouth, hopefully advertising will help with that. And so it's a bright day. It's 2021 is starting out on a really, really strong note when it comes to trying to level that playing field. We have some time to go here. It took a long time to get here. It's going to take some time to get the word out and really see the results of it. But I'm very encouraged, I'm sure as you are, to see this happening. So the next thing I would like to talk about is the innovation and the sectors that we are excited about in 2021. I kind of mentioned social impact investing, and you hear about impact investing, social impact investing. They're similar but different. ESG investing, what that really means, and depending on who you're speaking to, they have their own thesis on what that is. And really, what social impact is the effect on people and communities. What those dollars do, or what those actions do on people and communities. And I've invested in companies such as Ready Set Food, which is their goal is to eliminate childhood allergies, the ones that are really, really just detrimental to children's health. And Liquid Biosciences, which has an analytic that works in the pharma space that helps bring drug discovery and really effective drugs to market a lot faster through the FDA. So when I invested in these companies a couple of years ago, I wasn't doing it from a social impact lens. I was doing it because I was passionate about the problem they were solving. Each one of them very different, but I understood, this is powerful. If this really works and they can scale and we can bring it to the market, this is going to change lives. So I think that's really important to an angel investor, to a venture capital fund. Not only will this company scale and make money, but boy, it'd be great if it's helping people, if it's helping communities. And Ivana, I know that this is passionate. This is a passion of yours as well. It's a focus you have. So speak to us a little bit about a few of the investments you've made that have a social impact.
Well, yeah, at first I'd like to begin by saying that I'm really excited about all the technology that is to come in this new, what I call the new technological era, because what I know is that universities that have patents such as what is it back east? Is it Georgetown? No, Columbia.
MIT?
No, what's the one in DC? I'm saying it wrong. My daughter applied.
That's Georgetown. Is it Georgetown?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The lady that works there says that there was going to be release on about 50 patents that the university had. And that's going to create a lot of innovation and technology. And I don't think we've even hit the tip of the iceberg in what we will be seeing, in technology, and how we'll exponentially just open up a Pandora's box of innovation and what's to come. So I'm really excited about that. The type of companies that I'm currently invested in are ag tech, and AgTech is, let's see, it's a Latina owned and founded company that is a science data-based, using big data to solve major problems with the supply chain, starting with the food and agricultural sector. So they reduce a lot of waste and spoilage, and they help forecast, for purposes of deciding on your crop size and purchasing. So both sides of the supply chain and the demand. They're continuing to grow, 25% growth year after year. They were recently awarded a GSA certification, which just means they can bid on government contracts. And they were also selected by Microsoft for the UN Sustainable Development Goals that they have. And then Aquacycle is again founded by a woman, a sustainable, green, socially conscious, environmentally friendly, cost-effective way to on-site to be able to treat the highest strength wastewater that businesses in the food and beverage industry, such as Mars, Coca-Cola, and Budweiser, seem to residually produce. So currently, they have worked their way up and have $1 million of contracts coming up in the pipeline. And their solution is brilliant because they have no downtime. The way they clean the water are cells. And if one cell's down, you could just pull it out and put the other one in, and no downtime. And the company can scale as it sees its usage increase. So that's a couple. And I really quickly, because I don't know how much time, I just wanted to mention that I recently was a judge at a panel for USC Executive MBA program, and two investments that I'm really excited about and asked for pitch decks was, one was it was car charge, and it's actually a portable charging unit for people who drive electric cars, so that they're not stuck or have to plan their day around going to, to charge, and when they're away from home and run out of charge. So that's exciting. And then there's also a socially good and a way of earning as well. Company, I asked.
It's like an ed tech. Is it like an ed tech company?
No, it's called Crypto Mass Energy, and what it actually does is that it does solar panel installation in third world countries to help mine cryptocurrencies. And when it's not mining, it's using the electricity to give back, to be put back into
the grid, back to the grid. That's great.
Grid for those third world countries to use. So these are two, like I said, innovations that I think I heard 29 pitches and they were all fabulous, but these are the two that were my top ones.
Thank you so much, guys.
Fantastic.
I'm going to jump in here. Thank you so much for that. Really, really interesting. And a number of questions here. I'm going to try and tie them all into one, if I may, starting with my own question, which is, you talked to Xandra earlier on about all the top sectors really are in the tech field in one way or another. And Paul Noida asking what types of businesses do women tend to found? Is that within the tech sector? So that's one question. And secondly, Patrick Aisha asking about, are female founders considered to be more trustworthy? Is that one of the attractions of investing?
Well, let me take the first question, and Yvonne can take the second one. Okay, so in my portfolio, I have companies, Trubify, which is actually, it's a tech play, but it's actually allowing artists, musicians to monetize their music immediately. It's better than, it's democratizing. It gives them the tools to not only do live streaming and make money immediately, they're getting a bigger piece of the pie than if they would do it on Spotify or on Apple Music. That's, the co-founder was a woman. And so that is a really interesting, tech venture. But yeah, a lot of it's tech. I mean, we've got some great minds. The companies that Yvonne was speaking to, those maybe not so much tech, but they're solving problems. Udify, which is another one, it's bringing mental health services immediately to the need. It kind of triages the need. That's another one. It's a health tech play. But we're seeing companies that aren't so tech heavy, but maybe they have their mission is to bring ideas together. They have a tech background. I mean, they have a tech platform, but it's putting the information together. So it's kind of across the board. And again, it's who you pitch to. You need to make sure that you're pitching to the right group that has the right background and sector knowledge, so they can really understand what you're doing. They have strategic alliance, and they want to learn more about what it is and possible investment. So yeah, tech all over the place. And like I said, I've invested in all of these sectors. I'm passionate about it's the PMP for me. It's the problem they're solving, the market size, and the people doing it. At the end of the day, you're investing in the team. So whether that's a tech play, a consumer play, if they have all the right ingredients, they're going to receive an investment.
People.
So to answer your second question, if women are more trustworthy, I came across this article that banks with more women on their boards actually commit less fraud. So I do think that not only are women also more resourceful in the way that they use their funds when they are given, but I think that, I don't know if it's trustworthy because they are resourceful with they don't over ask, they don't overspend, that type of thing. I don't know if they truly are perceived more responsible, but this study certainly shows that, more trustworthy. This this study does show that they are on board. So.
Well, I think anecdotally, after that, the world financial crisis, the question was asked that if there'd been less testosterone in the financial boardrooms, then there would have been less of a problem. And I think probably most people agreed with that. But it's just a question of how you get to that situation, isn't it, in the first place? And of course, you're doing that, which is terrific. And I've got a question in here as well from Charlotte, just asking about whether you've seen sort of post-pandemic, or can we say post-pandemic? We're not quite there yet, but in the wake, wake of the pandemic, are you seeing more of a shift of investor focus towards more of a philanthropic element, if you like, than just a straight profit margin requirement?
Yes, I think that's singing to a lot of angel investors in venture capital. I'm going to use an example. I was just introduced to a fund here in Orange County, and it's a social impact fund. And I went to their website, and it wasn't really clear to me their investment thesis. Like most sites you go to, you see what they invest in, they give you your thesis, what stage investment, and it wasn't clear to me, and they're really new. And so I said, please explain to me what your social impact fund, what the thesis is, what you're investing in, what is this? And one of the general partners put it this way. He said, Xandra, every year you're probably, and Yvonne, we're both involved with charities, and we go to the galas and we pledge, 25,000, 50,000, whatever dollars, we buy things, and they raise $800,000 in the night. That's wonderful. It's going to a certain cause. It's going to help that program for 1 year. Then we're back at it the next year. We have another gala and they need $1 million, and then they need $2 million. So it's never ending. And I'm like, I got it. Yeah, I understand. These are very important causes. He goes, well, imagine not every charity, not every cause can be self-sustaining, but imagine if we can find some that we can put into the community for a local, to serve a local purpose that could create a self-sustaining business. These are the companies, the cohorts in the companies we're going to put into this fund. Mm-hmm. And it's called, the organization is called RevHub, and they're fundraising, and they're going to come they're going to come and present to us, Yvonne, either in June and September. And I thought, this is fantastic. This makes sense. So my $25,000 investment, I could go do that at a charity too, but my $25,000 investment is going into this business. I'm not doing it so much to make a profit, but I could. I mean, it's going to be a self-sustaining, that's the goal of this company, a self-sustaining business, but it's going to create its own revenue to help the community, and it's going to be self-sustaining. So they don't need another $25,000 from me, and another $25,000, and another $50,000 years and years and years later. So I thought, that's brilliant. You need to explain that on your website. So it's very clear to us what the difference is: giving to a charity, angel investing, social impact investing. Because I think a lot of angels and a lot of venture capital money would love to see more of this. And again, you start at the local community level, but some of these ideas can be scaled nationally. Yeah. And so to me, that was explained to me in a way what I can understand. So I hope that explains, just gives you a little tidbit of what we're seeing and what it means. And, this is meaningful for me because it's here in Orange County and it's solving solutions locally.
Yeah. Well, we've hit our mark, so thank you for that. But just a quick question. Who do you talk to? Who do you, as the founder and chair of OSEA, who do you talk to in London or in Europe in terms of similar organizations?
I'm on Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm on Clubhouse, and I'm with the startup club, and I'm also with the Silicon Valley Startup Club. And I have a 6 p.m. It's West Coast time. I speak in a room at 6 p.m. and we have. Right now, I don't really have a strong connection with the startup venture capital environment in London. I would like to start doing that, just because Antler is one of them. Antler is a group that I'm aligned with, and I met through Dylan through Forum. She's a member. Yeah. That's one of them. I'm also aligning with Canadian VCs, and they're one of my clients this year, the Canadian Consulate of Los Angeles. So I'm building those international connections, and what I'm finding is there's a common thread on what we want to look at. We want to look at not only investment within our own countries, we want to look at where else in the world can we make an impact with our investment. So that's exciting to see. So I would love any introduction to a venture capital group, an angel group within London. That'd be great. I think Yvonne and I would both value that. But right now, I just don't have that unless I meet them on Clubhouse.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just thought I'd ask that question. So, well, look,
Yes.
thank you so much, and good to see so many of you on the screen there and from
Yes.
all over. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Xandra. Thank you, Yvonne.
Yes.
And Thursday, we have another talk at the same time, this time hosted from London, not from LA. And I think Chris is on the call. Yes, he is. Chris Wilkins will be hosting Nick Timothy, both of whom for a year or two, perhaps 2 or 3 years, were effectively defining the British government's policy in the era of Theresa May, or the early years of Theresa May. So that will be absolutely fascinating. So please join us for that on Thursday. Really pleased to have Chris, who's a forum member, talking to us. And thank you, Chris, for inviting Nick to join you on that. And we look forward to seeing you then. But in the meantime, have a very good day over there. Thank you so much again. And can't wait till
Thank you, Simon.
we'll all meet again soon. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.